What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Club Goulash. Today we have a very special guest. In today's episode, we are talking about recruiting. Recruiting not just in any sport, but particular for football. Welcome to the world of football recruiting in South Florida, Florida in general. We have my host, a very, very long time friend, a brother, if you will, Darrell Strong. This guy here. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you a little applause. We love you! Darrell Strong is actually the CEO of a very, very popular sports brand called Harbor Fair. You got people like Brandon Ennis, who's warranted for Ohio State. You got people like Mark Fletcher for University of Miami, and so much more athletes, not even just boy athletes, but female athletes as well. You got a young lady that was at LSU, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she plays. What sports does she play?
Basketball.
Basketball. So you have this exploding a sports what is it called? Sports apparel. I'm sorry. I've been drinking. Okay, now I remember. He's a coach. He's a life mentor. He's a life motivator. He takes on a role for a lot of young men here who are growing up, and sometimes they need the extra push. He's really doing God's work in the community, and it's hard but fair. If you ever seen him in action, it's not just a quick love type of, hey, go ahead and do it guy. He's really getting after these guys and giving them the real life version of what to expect them to help prepare them for what's to come. Again, Darrell Strong, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm basically a product of my mother. You know what I'm saying, growing up, watching her do give back to other kids, bring a lot of kids in our home and treat them like our own. And one thing I told myself after college, that's what the type of thing that I want to do. So just growing up, seeing it all my life, being a people person, that's if I told myself I'd never make it to the NFL to where I wanted to go, that's what I wanted to do, just give back to these kids.
Yeah, you never told me that all your life I've known you. That's pretty interesting. I thought we was trying to go to the league. So.
Well, that was the plan.
No, but I think that's all. I think that's always the plan. And just a reminder, what high school did you play at?
I played at Plantation High School,
and that's located in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Plantation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was the head coach at the time?
At the time, it was Frank Hepler, Coach Hep, one of the greats.
Definitely one of the greats. He's
Yeah.
been coaching a very long time. I think he just retired. Maybe like the end of last year or early last year, I believe. And that was after like 41 years of coaching.
That's a long time.
Long time. And out of high school, he was recruited by University of Pittsburgh.
Yes, that was the school of my choice that I wanted to go to. With Pitt, recruited a lot of kids from Plantation. One of the coaches, Coach Partridge, great coach. He actually went to Plantation himself. And he came back to get me and Cedric McGee.
Okay.
But fell short with my ACT score, so I had to take a different route.
Now, how crazy is that you fell short with the ACT scores and SAT scores, and now in 2025, they don't even require athletes to take these things. I think I got another year of eligibility. I don't know. I might have to talk to coach and see.
Well, if you have one, I have two.
Let's not show our age here.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So he recruited by Pittsburgh, which is a very predominant school for recruiting defensive linemen. They produce animals in the league.
Yeah.
Aaron Donald's one of them. You got another kid that came out of Miami Northwestern. I forget his name, but he was undersized, but he had a freaking motor, and I think he got drafted in the first round a couple years ago as well.
Tampa Bay.
So let me ask you a couple of questions just to put some more insight, because a lot of people are always looking on social media to look at 305 Sports and they see the stuff, but nobody actually knows what happens down here in South Florida. And by the way, 305 Sports says 305, which is actually Miami's area code, but a lot of those athletes that they showcase are from Broward County, 954, 561, in those areas. And we have a countless number of great, tremendous LeBron James type athletes, like one of them, which most of the world probably know now, is Jeremiah Smith.
Right.
He's out there doing remarkable things at a high level, and probably going to be one of the best receivers to pass through in our time that we'll see. How has recruiting changed from when you were in high school compared to now?
Well, social media changed it a lot because when we was in high school, we got recruited by going to camps. We didn't really receive like all the offers they giving out now. We received a lot of letters, and we felt like that was our offer.
Yeah.
But
remember, we used to be excited, like, hey, man, this one's handwritten. This is handwritten. This is handwritten. You know, when you got a handwritten letter, you really thought you was doing it. Like, yeah, man, you know, coach real handwritten. You know, it's person. So, yeah.
But yeah, the recruit is so much easier now. We actually making it easier for the coaches, making them lazy because social media, we just put it on our page, send it through, they film through Twitter, add them on Twitter, and they really don't have to come here, but they do because, of course, you got to see how big the kid is, his measurements and all. So it's easier now.
Okay. How would you say that you impacted a lot of these kids as far as their recruiting process these past couple seasons you've been coaching down here?
Oh, man, it's tough. I do a lot. I don't speak about it a lot. I just do it because that's what I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. But it's not even kids and it's crazy. It's not even, I don't even help kids that's with my team. I help all over. If I coach you in Little League, if I coach you in 707, you reach out. I do my best to help. I definitely do a lot behind the scenes by reaching out to scouts 2, 3 in the morning. Because it's a time period when you got to reach out to scout. If you try to reach out to them during the day, they have meetings, coaches meetings. They have kids who just at them all day in their inbox all day. You have to catch them like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah, what they call demon time.
Yeah.
Demon time. Dude.
When things slow up.
Yeah, I can only imagine that. And like you just said, that you help kids that you're not even coaching, you know, and that's the part of what I mentioned earlier as being a mentor, because at the end of the day, I believe, and I think a lot of people that know us believe, that you're the type of coach that wants to see all these kids be successful, even if it's bigger than what you say, football.
Yeah.
It's bigger than football. How would you say, you know, just speaking on the aspect, how would you say how important is relationships with these coaches?
Oh, it's very important. It's crazy. I was going to talk about that, but I'm glad you brought it up. Mm-hmm. It's very important to build relationships because a coach, once you build a relationship with them, you gain trust in them. So if a coach trusts me, so say like you send him a kid, he don't know you like that, and he's on the table about should I take this kid or not. But then say if I send him with a great relationship with him, he's going to trust me more and take the kid that I sent him.
That's almost like when you go to a mechanic or something like that. Like, hey, I know this guy for a long time, you know. Okay, all right, I hear that. I definitely hear that. You know, speaking of relationships, I think it's important. I heard you say this before, and I usually say it a lot as well. You know, never, you know, just because a coach is at a smaller school, they may not be there next season. Right. So you want to make sure that you always treat these coaches with respect. You know, always, you know, leave an impressionable memory of your first encounter with them. Right. And, you know, just, you know, always be upfront and honest. You got coaches like Willie Simmons. Willie Simmons was the head coach at FAMU. Excuse me. He was the head coach at FAMU. A couple years passed by. Then he became the running back coach at Duke. And now he's the head coach at FIU, which is right in a lot of these kids' backyard. Now, had he some of those kids that he tried to recruit when he was at FAMU, and they was like, nah, coach, I ain't going to FAMU. That's HBCU. And now they you know, they're scrambling right now to try to get in college. And he was like, hey, man, you know, I you know, that relationship that we had there, we didn't, you know, you never gave me opportunity. You know, now I done moved on to the next kid.
You know, I got a quick story with that. We had a coach, a good friend of mine. I built a great relationship with him, Brandon Harris from FIU. FAU.
I know Brandon.
And
I really don't.
He wanted to recruit Twan out of high school at FAU.
You talking about Antoine?
Antoine Jackson.
Jackson. Oh, so, yeah, that kid's an animal.
Highly recruited, all the top schools. Then you have FAU. most kids that got a big offers, they not gonna look at them. They're not gonna really want to talk to the coach. But Twan actually kept that relationship with that guy, even though he knew he wasn't gonna go there. He still
That's good.
kept that line of communication.
And that's what I was talking about. That's good.
And now that coach is his new DB coach at UCF. So
yeah, see,
he kept that relationship. Now
that's what I call
he's playing for him.
A full circle. What I remember from recruiting was, it used to really matter about your actual film and who you played against and now that type of stuff. And now more or less is relationships and social media. And would you think that a little bit of hype and wave play a part in any of this?
Yeah, that plays a big part. Just like one of the platforms that you mentioned earlier is 305 Sports. A lot of scouts, and it used to be the crib, Frank, before he got put on with Miami.
Shout out to Frank.
But platforms like that who highlight the kids, and if you get posted on their page, that's a big difference because a lot of scouts follow their platform and they look into a lot of players that they post. So it plays a big part with recruiting, just hype.
Yeah. If you look, I don't know if you, because Instagram has a tool. I think all of them are kind of finding this platform, but Instagram has a tool where it has insights and you can see exactly who viewed and how many people viewed your actual post, your page, who's interacting, are there followers, are there non-followers? And sometimes when I post content, I see that it says hundreds of thousands of people have viewed this, even if it doesn't reflect on the likes, right? Could you imagine how many views that 305 Sports page get? How many exposure? How many coaches or people across the world that probably are viewing this this page when they post these different type of posts of these athletes?
I say in the millions because
in the millions.
They tagged me in a post from my spring. I think it was spring ball, and it hit 1 million views on my page. So, and it came from 305 Sports page, and they got a bigger platform than me.
Shout out to those guys and what they're doing over there. They really are
my guys.
Yeah. They and if you ever seen the guys behind that page, you would be like, "What the hell are where did these guys come from?" Like two little like quirky little Bruce Banner, twins. Incredible Hulk twins. Good guys, those guys are. So with all the schools that you have here, and all the connections that you have here in South Florida, I'm pretty sure you get a lot of opportunities to coach at different places. What made you choose to coach at Plantation High School?
Well, I went there, so I was building up all these other schools, and one of them, Dillard, and I had thought to myself, like, if I can help build a school that I didn't go to, and when the opportunity opened up to go to Plantation, hey, why not go back home and build that up?
Absolutely, man. That's really good what you guys are doing over there. I see you guys are playing a lot of young guys over there. How's their future looking?
Well, it's tough when you start off when you recruit the older guys. I mean, it's cool to get like 2 or 3 of them, but when you're taking on the baggage, especially when they come with no offers, nothing, and they look for you to make a miracle, and it becomes stressful because you have the parents. It's hard for you to coach because these kids are worrying about the offer they senior year if they're going to go to school instead of just playing football and let it happen itself. So this year we decided we had a young team. So we could have got older kids and built around the younger kids, but we said, why not just we won some good games with these young kids, so why not just bring more young kids around them and build that way from the ground up.
Yeah, one of the things that, like even when coaching Little League, makes the coach Little League, one of the things that myself personally struggle with as far as like coaching wise was I always preferred to get somebody who was raw, who was untouched, who was I guess persuaded or affected by different ways, because it's different to untrain some bad habits, right?
Yeah.
but it's a lot easier when you can take somebody and you can mold them into, you know, the type of athlete that you see that they can be and type of stuff. And nowadays, these kids, they come with so much prima donna type of mentality, attitude that, you know, you're like, hey, you got to sink your hips. No, I ain't sink my hips when I did this, but you know, stuff like that. I don't got time for that type of stuff. That's why I commend you coaches that are out there doing what I call the Lord's work. That it is it's just difficult when you are trying to restructure somebody else's teachings.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so with that being said, from all the experiences that you have, what advice would you give some of these South Florida football players? What advice would you give them moving forward, going into the recruiting world? Those that aspire to play college and maybe professional, what advice would you give them right now? Like incoming 9th grader, incoming 10th grader, what would you tell these kids right now in South Florida that would help them along their journey?
First of all, play football. Because like I said, when we came up, we didn't worry about offers. We played football. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even think about an offer. I don't think I ever did. I just played football. Now, when you get to your senior year, did it come to mind? Yes. But
you know what? That's funny. Now that I think about it, I don't think I never thought about offers. I was like, yeah, man, we got Dilla this week.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, we got Stranahan this week. And I never said, man, hey, coach, what did NC State say? They didn't text you back. I don't think I ever coach up part of Raymond. Hey, get out of here. Get ready to go out and practice. I don't think I ever. Dang, that's a good point. I never thought about that. I never went to football practice or whatever thinking about what offers that I got, and now that's all these kids talk about.
It's killing the game.
All these kids. I remember I was coaching at American Heritage, and it was a kid that he was more on the academic side, but as far as football wise, it really wasn't that wasn't his thing.
Right.
But this kid used to say, man, yeah, coach, I think Alabama coming to see me today. I said, boy, they're not coming to see you, you know. So yeah, it's amazing how much the world has changed and the sports have changed as far as recruiting. How do you feel about the NIL? How do you think that's impacted recruiting right now as far as like kids and stuff?
Well, you know, it's a gift and a curse because it motivates kids as well. But I need them all to know, like, everybody not going to get offered that deal. Every school don't offer NIL. And that'd be the first, because I had a kid, he was being recruited by Division II and Division III. Then he was like, the first question, yeah, coach, do they offer NIL? I said, you better hope they offer you a full ride. Said, nah, man, that comes with the big dogs, and he's not that. He's a good player. He's a good athlete, but he's just not. He don't have the size right now. Scouts are in this football world is all about the measurables. Yeah. To be recruited highly, you got to run a 4.2.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I've been seeing around as well. Just being on the outside looking in, the measurables. I don't even think they care who you play anymore. I don't think they care who you play anymore. I think they just care about your stats and your measurables and how fast are you.
Yeah.
If you're an old lineman, they want you to run a 4.4. Like, I don't know, it's done changed a lot.
But you got old linemen running that. That's why.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane, man. These kids are definitely are in a different era of football than what we were. What is one of the things that you wish that you could change when you played versus now that you see as an adult? Like, if you go back and look, like, dang, I should have did this, I should have did that. What is one of the things that you think you probably was it your dreads? You had your I would change those. It was
I would say because I took the game serious. I don't think I took my technique serious
Mm-hmm.
because I was so strong. I just felt like I could just muscle everybody until I got to college. But I think if I took my technique serious and it wasn't too much, we don't have trainers like we have now. We didn't have trainers back then. So I think if I came up in this era, I think I would have been that guy. Because one thing I did, I liked it to work out. And if I had better technique, I think I would have went further than what I did.
Absolutely. I agree. I can agree with you on that statement 100% because you have the measurables, is what they said. You know, and you played at you ended up playing at Clark Atlanta University.
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
Man, that was a great experience. It's for all you kids out there, like Black College, that's a great experience. My brother came to, I think, 1 or 2 games, and he was like, God, bro.
He never came to see me play. You know. Speaking of your brother, you had a brother that went to University of Pittsburgh as well. He ended up going to play in the NFL. What team did he go to?
Oakland Raiders.
Okay. All right. So how do you feel did that affect you in a way? Did that make you feel more motivated, or did you just like my brother's in the league? Was that like a thing that you already expected? Like how did that affect you as far as like?
I think it was all of it. I expected it. It motivated me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because people, like he was like, you never like was excited to come to the games or come hang out with him. I didn't want to do none of that. I was trying to get there. So it was my motivation to meet him there and to be able to pull up to the club or wherever they go.
Yeah.
And pay my own way in and can get my own session. So that was my motivation to get there. But
make sure you pick me up. Yeah. Make sure you pick me up. Yeah, that's a crazy incident because I remember watching your brother play. He was a tremendous athlete.
Yeah, he was different.
He was definitely different in his time. I think the only social media that we had around that time when I was trying to reach out to recruiters was MySpace. So I put Nick Saban on my top 8. He never responded, you know. And then he didn't have a Black Planet, so you know I didn't.
Oh man,
there was no way.
Throwback.
And Twitter didn't. I don't think Twitter came out yet.
No, Twitter was around.
Twitter was around.
Yeah, so we just didn't use it.
Oh man, that's when he had the little bird ringtone.
The blue bird, white bird, blue, whatever.
All right, man. Well, with that being said, man, I definitely appreciate you taking the time out to come out here today. Is there anything else, any messages that you would like to send out? Any shout out to anybody or anything that you would like to say? As far as any of our viewers that will be watching this podcast today.
Shout out to you for the Club Goulash.
Goulash,
something
man.
different. I think this is your speed. I think you should have been did this. I'm happy you doing it.
You never told me.
China Nails. That's my girl. Shout out to her.
Huh?
Shout out to my fiance, Nerlan. She's a big part of me being driven, and she's allowing me to go out there and help these kids and don't complain. You know what I'm saying?
How important is that to have that type of support from, you know what I'm saying, or that backbone from your significant other? How important is having that support?
It's very important because if she don't like what I'm doing, if she complains all the time, it'll take the drive out of you.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, that's who you have to go home to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if she's cool with it and don't have a problem with it, and she know what I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely. If in case that you never, you know, if you ever get in trouble and you can always sleep on the couch here. I have 2 couches. There's one in the back room. There's actually a PlayStation back there as well.
It's cool. I can share with Oreo.
No.
Shout out to Oreo too. Big shout out.
Well, man, this is Darrell Strong. He's a coach. He coached at Plantation High School. I don't see him there much longer. He may be in the college coaching world pretty soon. So just keep an eye on him. Make sure you keep those relationships with him. And this guy, I'm telling you right now, if you are a parent or if you are a student athlete and you want to get connected with somebody who's a good person that has a lot of information about this field, this is the guy that you want to connect yourself with. Darrell Strong. I think your Instagram is what, Harbor Fair?
Harbor Fair Athletes.
Harbor Fair Athletes. He's also on Twitter.
HBF athlete.
HBF athletes. Check them out. Make sure you hit that follow button. You know what I'm saying, and make sure you get connected. If this is something that you want to do, and this is the path that you want to go, he has a lot of information. Even if you don't, not necessarily want to come play at Plantation High School, still connect with him. It's always good to connect with anybody because earlier we said relationships matter.
Hey, hold on.
All right, y'all. That's a good one. We're going to talk.
I forgot to add this. I wanted to say this for a long time, and I want to say it now. So I know a lot of kids going to see it. Listen, kids, I know my platform is getting bigger, and when I post you and it get likes and it get the attention, but if you don't have a profile picture, nothing on your profile,
I hate that. I'm glad you said that. I don't know who I'm
talking to. So,
you know what? That's very important. You just said earlier that social media is how you've been connected. It's made the coaches lazy. So guess what? When a coach come to your page and go look at you, and you got one picture, or you got no pictures, or you looking like this, and you doing gang signs, and you look like you sell drugs.
Yeah.
I want you to come play DB. I don't want you to sell dope at University of Alabama. I think it's important because your presence is important. If you want to be an NIL, possible get an NIL, you want to make sure you look in a name, image, likeness. Nobody wants Future who plays linebacker. You understand me? That's what these guys do are entertainment. You are not in entertainment. You are a sports athlete, and you're building a profile for potential people that want to invest their product into you. You are the product. So think about that next time you go in here and posting all this craziness. I almost bought a fifth from a kid that played football. Oh man, I appreciate you saying that, man. You didn't drink none of your drink. That drink was a very expensive. Let me give you we might as well toast now. There it is. Might as well water down. Thank you guys for tuning in, man. I really appreciate it. Stay tuned for next week. We got another exciting episode at Club Goulash. Goulash means a mixture of everything. You never know what it's going to be. See you next week.